What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Unrelated Sports Podcast. I am Andy McConnell. With me, as always, my partner in crime, Mr. Cody Allstat. And Cody, just an FYI, it is 33 days till the Daytona 500. I
Holy
know you're
cow, I
excited.
can't wait to not watch that. That's going to be great.
Well, that's good. Well, actually, 33 weather permitting because they've been getting rained out of late. But how are you doing, kind sir?
I'm doing really good. I had a relaxing football weekend for the most part after, what was that, Saturday?
Or Friday? Friday night?
Friday night, yeah. So the weekend was fine. Horns down, yep.
Yeah, it was
Makes
just
it
bad.
makes it a little sweeter that the Packers lost after you just did that. So
Oh, that's right. It was just a bad football weekend all around. So don't worry. It was just bad. Um, but yeah, nice, relaxing. Other than the Packers game, though, so that was good.
yeah, by this time of year, most of the time as a Dolphins fan, it's a pretty relaxing part of the year. We're just usually worried like who's going to be our next coach or who's going to be our GM or who are we all going to have to cut. Which GM and coach we know. Cutting, that'll be interesting.
Well, I saw that Miami's like third on the list of percentage of snaps that are unrestricted free agents, like a player of snaps played. Minnesota's number one on that list, and then it's Washington and Miami.
Okay, I saw that. Um, was it New England has 120 million in cap room?
Yep. You know what you call that? Sucking at drafting, because then you
Yeah,
don't give anybody a second contract.
that there is some truth to that.
Yeah.
But let's get into the NFL later.
Yeah. We'll touch on that later. Where do you want to? Where should we start? Where do you want to lead off at?
All right. Well, there was some wrestling news today or this weekend. Spencer Lee actually is going to be wrestling in a they're going to be having a meet in Iowa City where he's going to be wrestling against the 61 kilogram world champ. Ono is his name.
He's from Japan, right? I think I saw
Yes.
something like that. Okay,
Yep.
yeah.
That's going to be happening this year. Uh
How'd
let
they
me
get
see if
that
I can
to?
find
How'd they get that to be in Iowa City?
that. Well, I mean that's kind of the mecca of wrestling in the United States,
Oh,
to be
okay,
truthful.
okay. That makes
Um,
sense, I guess.
I mean, let's see. Let's see if they see if we have a piece of information on that. No,
Do.
well, Iowa beat the crap out of Wisconsin over the weekend in wrestling.
They
They
skunked
won
them, didn't they?
45-0, which is
Yeah.
very impressive. But the fact that Penn State just beat Michigan State 55-0 out of a like the highest possible score would be pinning everybody would be 60-0. So
Holy wow.
um I believe they had 6 pins. I don't know, they had at least three tech falls and a major decision, which that's pretty good. um
Do you know? Has anybody ever won 60-0 at all?
in college I don't believe so. I'm not going to say no chance for sure, but I don't believe it's ever happened.
Okay.
Um, yeah, of course, I can't find it on any of the sites that I'm looking at. Of course, I could just go to Flow.
Now,
That'd probably be.
does basically putting a donut on an opponent, does that happen a lot? Like when like Iowa or Penn State both winning
Not
like whatever to
not
nothing?
often, not
Okay.
very often at all.
Okay.
It's pretty rare. Usually, a lot of times, like a team will uh put in like a backup late too. Like
Okay.
I guess let the other team get a win, but at the same time, this is conference. Like this could come down to seeding for the Big Ten championships. So that'll make a difference. It says Olympic silver medalist Spencer Lee versus world champ Masanosuke Ono, February 26th in Coralville. And then there's actually a couple more matches that are coming up with that. There's that thumping again. David Carr is going to be wrestling. He's wrestled for Iowa State. He's a 2-time national champ, 3-time finalist. He is wrestling the silver medalist from Japan, actually, Daiichi Takatani.
Okay.
So that, I mean, they're making a big event out of it. There's been a few more rumors of other meets going or matches going to be happening that day. But like I said, right now, Big Ten wrestling season is starting. It's pretty exciting. And there is a Ferrari brother update.
Oh boy.
Fun. Always fun.
Boy. I love this update.
The oldest brother has actually been wrestling really well, but he did seem to that'd be AJ. He'd be the one that gave the double birds to the Hawk fans. He is undefeated through the season so far. He's ranked number 1. He's looked really good. He did seem to duck a couple guys at the Cliff Keen tournament, but who knows? And then his little brother, the middle brother of the 3, because there's AJ, Anthony, and Angelo. Angelo, of course, being at Iowa and Angelo's looked really good, but I'm thinking they're going to redshirt him this year. Anthony kind of seemed like he was going to wrestle at Iowa, and then I don't know what happened. He forced Cody Chittum to go to Iowa State, and then he left. So it was Cody Chittum was wrestling for Iowa and then moved to Iowa State in the middle of the night when Anthony Ferrari was going to be coming there, and then Iowa lost out on Anthony Ferrari anyway. So really smart move there. He is going to be wrestling for the Long Island University Sharks. He's starting in January of this year. So
Wrestling powerhouse.
Never heard of it, but it looks like they're a D1 school.
Is it one of those team builder schools that you can do? Is that what it is?
It looks similar. I mean, me and you would put a little bit more time into the
logo and everything.
The team builder, but
okay,
yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
That's always fun. I always love hearing about the Ferrari brothers, especially. I mean, Angelo has been a class act since he's got to Iowa, so no complaints there yet, and he's looked really good.
Yeah, the other 2 at least provide content, so that's what you need this day and age.
That's what they're here for.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how Anthony is. He was the number 14 overall recruit in like 2022. Hasn't used any of his eligibility yet, I don't believe.
Which is nuts, being it's 2025.
He's a 21, 22-year-old college freshman.
Dang.
But his brother AJ he won a national title in 2019, and now this 2025 is his second year of eligibility.
So he's on like the Brandon Whedon Taysom Hill plan, basically.
Yeah. A little different circumstances. Didn't go on a Mormon mission trip. Didn't go pro at anything. Just a few sexual assault allegations.
Yeah. I'm not gonna touch that. I'm got nothing.
Yep. That's what they shouldn't have done.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Do you have an NBA update for us?
Oh yeah, the NBA basketball is still stupid.
Pro ball, college ball is different, but
sure.
Hey, it was a good weekend for the state of Iowa in basketball. I mean, Iowa killed Indiana, which Indiana needs to fire Mike Woodson. That's another discussion for another day. Um, Iowa State's number 2 in the country now after
I
their
did
big
see
win
that.
at Texas Tech. And my UNI Panthers won on a buzzer beater over
Nice,
Illinois State. So good weekend
nice.
for the state of Iowa.
Actually, you and I wrestling program just got ranked number 5 in the latest coaches poll.
That's
So
good. And they still don't have a wrestling hall yet.
they
That's
do
good.
not have a wrestling room, but
That's
Doug
that's.
Schwab is awesome.
I just, I mean, there's so much money going around in that place. How do you not have like? That's a
It's
disgrace.
one of their best programs. I mean, the fact that their wrestling program, I believe, I mean, they're top 5 right now from UNI.
Yeah, like
They're
I mean,
usually the third best team in Iowa, but they've become the 5th best team in the country right now. Now,
I wonder if
UNI does
part.
have a lot of
Oh,
injuries in
good.
their lineup, so they're pretty good. But
And I wonder if part of that's just playing with a little bit of a chip on your shoulder without with the disrespect that they've gotten from the university and stuff. And
yeah,
yeah, just that's yeah. They need to get that problem fixed like ASAP because that's not right for college athletes. It's like I mean you see it with other sports
D-
how
Doug Schwab said something along the lines of like, "We'll wrestle in a box. I don't care."
I think I
He's
did see
just
that quote. Yeah, I saw something like that.
he's built different. I mean, he's a great wrestler from Osage originally. He's got 2
Hmm.
boys wrestling for
Okay.
Don Bosco.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
Okay. Nice. 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 Go Cats.
and he was a national champ for Iowa.
No, we like
But
we like the U and I love here on the program as a
and
U and I alum here.
it's different.
What you and I love or what?
Well, me giving it to it. I like it in wrestling. They're my second probably favorite wrestling team
Okay.
program,
It's
whatever you want to call it.
hey, but it's all right. We're just the little engine that keeps going. That's for in all the other sports. That's fine by me.
Um, I will be the bigger Parker Kakayasen fan at the end of this season that you will ever see because
Why's
I
that?
really want him to beat Carter Strachey from
Oh,
Penn
okay.
State. They had a very good match earlier in this season, but
Is that
um,
who he beat for the championship last year? Or
no, they were different weight classes.
okay, I got you.
Strachey's the one that's going for his 5th this year.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
He went up weight class, so
Um, see, so I was asking you this earlier before we got on. Did you watch any of the golf league, the TGL thing with?
all I saw from it was that Tiger, one, had a really bad putt,
Okay.
and two, he laughed at somebody for
Oh,
sculling
blading
one
it.
over the yeah
Yeah, that was Kevin Kistner. I saw that.
yeah.
Yeah, I caught
That's
like
about
the
all I
very.
saw.
Yeah, I didn't catch any of it tonight, but I was just curious, just seeing how it all went. Um, let's see. What else do we have left to touch on?
Uh, Wrexham update. They didn't
Yeah.
play on Saturday, but they do have a game coming up on Thursday to see. It's against one of the bottom of the table teams fighting for. Let's see. What's it? It's on Thursday, which is a weird day for the game, I think. But let's see. Shrewsbury.
Hmm.
Uh,
Definitely
Shrews.
have heard of those guys.
Oh yeah.
You don't want to sleep on those guys.
Let's see. Let's see where they are in the table. Wrexham is still third, but they're tied points wise for second. But I think it goes to goal difference is the criteria, and
Okay.
they're behind on that. But
Okay.
I think um, as of right now, Shrewsbury is in line to get relegated.
Oh. Okay.
So maybe they have a little bit more to play for. I don't know.
Okay.
It'll
Hey,
be
I'm just glad they're
interesting.
not. I'm just glad they're not playing Sheffield Wednesday. That's good. Don't need to play those guys. I've heard things about them. If you know, you know. Uh, But let's see. We touched on that. Touched on that. There was kind of some scary news too about Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Like she had a stalker, right? That basically what it
Yep.
was.
Yeah. He out on $50,000 bond.
Yeah, and you can't leave the state of Indiana, which is good and bad.
Yeah.
Like yeah, it's just messed up.
Yeah. And I don't understand it, but why are people the way they are? But I mean, you've made it when you have a stalker, and like
Mm,
she's made it.
I know, which again is good, and the good
And
part's
bad,
making it, but then it's unfortunately what comes with fame,
right?
for better or for worse. So, well, Cody, should we jump into it? Do you want to talk about football?
Thought you'd never ask.
Okay, we'll start with college, and then we'll work our way to the pros. So the first college football playoff game between Notre Dame and Penn State is actually a pretty good ball.
It was very fun. Um,
A
not
lot more
the
point.
game I expected at
Same
all.
here. A lot more points than I thought was going to be scored.
Mm-hmm.
The under was not safe. And Drew Aller, hoping to boost his potential NFL draft stock, he did. He didn't do that.
He's coming back to college, or he's coming back to Penn State for another year.
Good for everybody else.
Yeah. For a team that made that deep, they have a lot of questions at quarterback. With
Again and again and again. You know, like that Spider-Man meme where you see like
yeah,
all the same Spider-Man. Yeah, I saw one, and it's basically of the last like 20 Penn State quarterbacks, maybe not that many, but the last like 10 Penn State quarterbacks. That's like Trace McSorley, Sean Clifford, Drew Aller. What's the other guy's name? He got drafted by the Jets. Why can't I think of his name? Christian Hackenberg.
oh
Like
yeah,
got like all these different Penn State quarterbacks. It's like they're all the same guy. They all can run a little bit, but they can't throw.
which is not very important as a quarterback. You don't the ability to throw the ball.
Yeah, you don't need to do that at all unless if you're Lamar Jackson, where you really don't have to do it, but you still can because why not?
Yeah, well, when they're putting 13 in the box to stop you from running,
Yeah, that's
it
true.
looks
Also
like
with
it, and it doesn't still work.
yeah, no, that's true. But yeah, that was heck of a game. Marcus Freeman basically has revived Notre Dame from the
Yeah,
Brian. Like he's made Notre Dame likable after Brian Kelly like made everybody want to hate them, and still kind of
I
hate
mean,
them.
yeah, I still hate them, but
Jordan Conference. Um,
that's all it would take for me to like once in a while cheer for them.
it's like
I hate that
I,
they're not in a conference.
why not join the Big Ten? Their style of play fits the Big Ten to a T.
They are. If you just look at them, they look like a Big Ten team. It's
Yeah,
just
they play defense. They have a mediocre, above average quarterback, and they can run the ball.
yeah.
And they got a kicker because Big Ten teams have kickers.
But you know what they're missing to be a true Big Ten team?
A fullback.
I was gonna say a wrestling program.
Okay, well that. Oh, they don't have a. I did not know that.
I don't think they do.
Wow,
I've never heard of them.
that's
But
actually kind of surprising.
the newer Big Ten teams don't either.
Yeah, so maybe they're kind of relaxing on that rule or
Yeah, I mean,
requirement a little bit.
that was a requirement for the Big Ten, but I think that changed
Okay,
with the
so
expansion.
I gotta ask: does the game change your opinion at all on Penn State or Notre Dame? Either way, like
No,
yeah, like James Franklin's getting a bunch of criticism from not winning because he can never win the big game, and I don't know. I see it a little bit, but I don't think he needs to be crucified for it.
no. Oh, I mean, there's some they need to do something recruiting wise or quarterback development wise.
Yep,
I don't know.
huh, it
I
sounds
mean,
familiar.
yeah, it sounds bad because they were one of the top four teams in the nation. So like to be criticizing them is whatever, but like they have not, like you said, they have not looked good at quarterback for the last ever.
Mm-mm. I know, and
And
I guess Aller was a
part of that's
five-star prospect
development.
too. Yeah,
Well, I mean, they were talking about him being the best, one of the best, pro ready quarterbacks, and he's not. There's a reason he's staying back in college another year. I don't know if it's going to help him, especially at Penn State.
nope. I can already tell you that. Nope, nope. Not gonna be able to do it. It.
Insane.
I mean, he should just come to Iowa. He'd fit right in there too.
Yeah, he could
Like
let
we,
us down just as much as the next guy.
yeah, we can pay him multi seven figures as well, to just get hurt. Okay, we're gonna come back to that. So Notre Dame wins. Their reward, they get to play the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yeah,
That was a weird game against
it was
Texas.
a, it was strange.
Like there wasn't really a lot. I mean, it wasn't a lot of good football. There were just like three momentum swings, and that was it.
Yeah,
That was the game. Like Texas goes down and scores right before halftime. You think, okay, it's gonna be what 7-7, and then they call a blitz.
all out blitz on a simple little screenplay that goes
Yeah, with what like
75 yards.
with 13 seconds left or something like that. Like there wasn't that much
It was
left.
32 when the time
Oh, okay,
started.
okay.
29,
Regardless,
something like that.
regardless, you don't need to don't need to do it. And then
No.
Travion Henderson, which is funny because they were just talking about it on the broadcast too. They said he has like breakaway speed, and next thing you know, he gone.
Yep, and it made up for a boneheaded penalty
Personal
he
foul.
had earlier.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because did he headbutt or did he like give it like a slap to the face?
Slap
He
to
did.
the face, I believe.
Yeah.
But
And
whatever.
and then they trade a couple touchdowns late, and then it's what 21-14. Texas
Yep.
has the ball first and goal at the 1, and Ohio State ends up with 7 points.
Yep.
Yeah.
With Quinn Ewers' former Ohio State roommate sacking him, well, stripping and returning for a touchdown.
So, do you remember
seal
what the
the
kid's
game.
name was, or what the guy's name is?
No, I don't.
Hold on, I want to look this up quick because I want to get it right. Because his
He is a legend in Ohio State now.
oh, I know,
He will never have to buy a beer in Columbus.
Jack Sawyer. So that's the
There you
guy's
go.
name. He's also the guy that wouldn't let Michigan plant the flag after the game.
Yep.
Yeah, he's definitely now. He's not going to have to buy a drink ever again in Columbus at all.
No.
The craziest thing about that play was, so he strip sacks Ewers. It's 4th down anyway, but he strip sacks Ewers, and the ball just bounces right up to him. Like it doesn't bounce out of bounds.
It was made to happen right there.
Yeah. And now Ewers is going to the draft, which he shouldn't go to the draft, in all honesty, but
No, but he's not coming back to Texas. Like,
no.
he was one of the best Texas has had, but they're not gonna let Arch sit another year.
Why what's so special about Arch? What has he done? What does he have?
A last name.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's kind of powerful to have.
Yeah.
A last name and gorgeous hair.
Last
Just
name
in
of
the
royalty in the NFL community or in the football community.
Yeah. Yeah, kid's hyped up to be pretty good, so we'll see. What we got.
He's had moments that he's looked really good.
He also
already.
just about fumbled though
He did almost fumble
in the Carnival. I still think he might have, but
I don't think so. But it was a close play for sure.
Yeah. You know the crazy thing is about that game too? Jeremiah Smith, the stud freshman for Ohio State, what, 1 catch, 3 yards.
3 yards. Yep. Texas'
they
defense
still
came
won.
and played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the scary thing. He had 1 catch, 3 yards, and they still won. That's bad.
Yeah.
That's bad for Notre Dame.
Yeah, Notre Dame's gonna have their work cut out for them. I hope it's not a just
Bama,
terrible. Yeah.
Like, I think the only way Notre Dame wins is if they make it like the Michigan Ohio State game. They have to make it ugly. They have to make it low scoring and ugly. That's the only way they win.
They do have a good defense. Like,
They do. They just have to be able to make enough stops, and that's what scares me. Is I don't know if they can move the ball enough on Ohio State.
yeah.
See, and I'm torn because in one eye or one hand, I want Ohio State to win for the Big Ten's purpose because it just means more. But on the other hand, I hate Ohio State about the same amount that I hate Michigan. I don't know.
Slightly less, but
Slightly less. I don't know. It might be slightly changing only because Jim Harbaugh's no longer at Michigan. But
fair. This is
but I. Oh, go ahead.
one thing about it is really impressive for Ohio State to have to be there with Ryan Day having been talked about getting fired still all year, and they're
It's like a theme.
my guess is they're going to be the national champs.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too. It's just they got too many stars, and Will Howard actually looks semi-competent as a quarterback.
Yeah.
Speaking of quarterbacks, we're gonna touch on some non-game action quick. So about Iowa's new 7-figure recruit from the portal. Everything's great. Everything is great.
Yeah,
So
they got SDSU's.
Yeah, Mark Gronowski. I believe that's how I'm pronouncing the last name right.
Yep.
So Iowa paid him allegedly 7 figures. Miami was going to offer him money as well, and then they heard, oh, he might, I think, like a shoulder injury. I don't know exactly what his actual injury is, but there was rumored then that, hey, he might have to have surgery. Miami said, nah, we're good, and we're going to go after a guy who's coming off an elbow injury, so that's great, too, with Carson Beck. But they had other ulterior motives on why they did that. Iowa, on the other hand, said, you know what? We just got rid of one injury-ridden quarterback, so let's go for another one.
It worked out great last time. Let's try it again.
Yeah. Except at least this guy can play when healthy.
Yeah.
McNamara couldn't play when he was healthy to begin with.
Yeah, this guy is a 2-time national champ, Division II quarterback.
Well, D1 bowl subdivision.
I guess, okay.
Called that way.
Okay.
Or championship subdivision, I should say. Sorry. But
fair.
Yeah, the only thing that worries me, if this goes south, I was never going to try to go for a quarterback ever again in the portal. Like, ever. Or anybody, ever.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say anybody, but quarterback, no.
Yeah, or at least top
where the
talent,
money is.
Because and they're going to be scared to, like, the Swarm or whatever it is, the Swarm Collective, they're going to be scared then to give any money away for that.
Well, they already kind of are because they've been burned multiple times already. I mean, who was the last quarterback that they were so close to signing, and then he signed? I think it was the backup at Penn State.
I guess
he was supposed to be really close to signing with Iowa, and then so like Iowa was asking for, or the Swarm Collective was asking for all these donations to just make it sweeten the deal, and he went elsewhere.
Interesting. I did not know that.
And then there's this Proctor.
Oh,
they've had some issues with him.
Yeah, we don't mention that name anymore. So yeah, that I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where this goes. We'll find out by June, maybe.
Yeah,
hopefully.
Yeah, it said he'll be ready by the summer. So I'm not too worried about it yet. I'm sure they did some homework on it.
You would hope.
Yeah, they wouldn't want to get burned again.
You would hope,
even if Kirk Ferentz might not admit that he got burnt last time.
Yep. But don't worry, McNamara was never the problem, so don't worry. He was doing well in practice. That's exactly what you want to hear. Okay, so enough of one layer of negativity, Cody. Let's go to another one. Let's go to the NFL, shall we?
Well, let's start with some late late coaching
Ooh,
news.
yeah.
Mike McCarthy was not allowed to speak with the Bears because the Cowboys wanted him to have to wait a few more days.
Or maybe they were going to hold on to him and renegotiate a new contract, in which they
They
weren't going to
never
do that because
they never
Jerry's a
did it.
snake. But yeah, so
They
they let
want
a guy who has had, prior to this year, I believe like 12 win seasons, basically since he walked in the door in Dallas, and said bye and get
Yep.
out. They're such a
Well,
well run organization.
oh god, it's fantastic. Well, it has nothing to do with the fact that there's a coach that used to be a player for them that they might want to be
Are they
signing.
are they are they in prime position to get this guy?
They are in very prime position
That's
for him.
that's so bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's
It
I'll
was
work.
just sitting there. It was sitting there for the taking. Oh wait, honest question. They get Deion Sanders. What do because obviously Deion wants his kid. What do they do from there?
I have no idea.
Like I don't know what you can who you can trade
And
back to.
I think that's such a terrible idea
I think so too.
because you're not there. I mean, it's obviously going to be favoritism. Like, you're not going to have a true competition for whoever's playing. Shadur is going to have the spot,
Yep.
and he's gonna run the system to make nothing Shadur's fault. Like,
Yep.
I don't like it at all. It's the same type of situation where I think one of the worst things that the Broncos ever did was making uh
Ooh. Elway.
Elway their GM, because how do you fire the guy?
Yeah. You can't. Like
Like,
you can't. He's a
it
franchise legend.
it was also another situation. Like, Jerry Jones has done the same thing where he hired Jason Garrett, who he was too close to, and he held on to him too long because it's just too personal. I tried.
Yep. Yep. Well, that was it. Yeah.
I know. It was.
Just keep clapping. He was
You
a
got a
he was
guess?
a he was the clap. No, we have no guess.
Okay.
No, he's just he was the clapper of the year. So yeah, I part of me wants to see this. Actually, not part of me. All of me wants to see this happen. I just want to see if it's gonna burn. I just want to see it all burn to the ground in Dallas.
Yeah, I get it.
I think it'd be funny. So we have that. Mike Vrabel is the new Patriots head coach. That wasn't really a surprise at all. That was
No,
kind of known to happen.
with $120 million of cap space,
Yep, and they already got a quarterback.
and they do have a
Drake May.
quarterback.
Question for you: have the Chicago Bears or New York, or mostly the New York Jets, have they contacted you at all about their head coaching vacancy?
I had a missed call, but I didn't want to answer it.
Okay, because I think they're both teams are doing that. They're just interviewing guys off the street now, just trying to come
It's
up with a list.
everybody.
Yeah.
I think the Jaguars are kind of getting in on that trend too.
hmm Yeah, I think it sounds like the Bears or the Saints might go after McCarthy. Him to Chicago actually would scare me. They give him a competent, like, he's good. He's good with quarterbacks. He
Yeah, good
is,
with quarterbacks.
and that would scare me. But now if he goes to New Orleans, I mean, they're still in the cap dungeon. They're still
Yeah.
way down below.
But which organization would you rather work for if you were Mike McCarthy?
Oh, the Saints hands down.
So, like, it's the Saints are a better organization ish, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, in all honesty, the
you have more.
Bensons are good at how they treat their their employees basically, compared to the McCaskies who are just there to be there.
Yeah, it's been a strange ride for anybody that goes to Chicago.
Hey, don't worry, they're celebrating having more wins than the Packers this year, so that was their Super Bowl a couple weeks ago.
Having
Oh,
more
they
wins than the Pack.
in 2025.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. No, don't worry.
fair.
They're hanging banners about that. Um, and then you got the Jets, who are, I don't know, they're just the Jets. Devontae Adams is gone. Rodgers is gone. Devontae
Did
can
you
come
see
home.
Devontae? I was gonna say Devontae made some comments about the Packers.
Yeah, and personally, not just and part of it's because I love Devontae, but I would love him to come back too because they do need a veteran presence in that
Well,
receiving room because they just have a bunch of young guys.
they do, and didn't who just got hurt? That
Watson or Dobbs?
was Watson. Oh, Watson was ACL
Yes, among other things. It is.
late in the season where
Like, yeah,
he's not going to be available for most of the season. So I
yep,
mean, it makes sense to get a good short term wide receiver there.
yep. I'd be fine with that. I mean,
Yeah,
and again, just to bring in a veteran voice when you have a bunch of when you are the youngest roster in the league for 2 straight years, you need you need to get some voices
you
in
need
there
some
that
veteran.
have been there. Yeah.
There has to be a mix. There, like the youngest team is great on Madden,
Yep.
but in reality, like
Shout out the Jets.
you want to have some veteran leadership on there,
Mm-hmm. Because
especially
you need.
like people that have played in the playoffs and been deep into playoffs and
Yep.
know what's expected in January.
And who has respect in each locker room that he's been in, whether it be
Yeah,
Green Bay, Las Vegas, or the Jets. In all honesty,
yeah. So you're not talking
Cody,
about Rodgers there because I don't know how much respect he has anywhere.
no,
Which
see
his season wasn't that
oh
bad.
good, where I think
His
he's
season
gonna
wasn't that
go.
bad.
You are right. If in all honesty, if you just look at numbers, yes. If you actually watch him play, it was not good.
Yeah,
I'm being
it was
honest.
awful. Yeah,
If box score stats are fine, but when you actually look inside the box score, it was not good. So there's one place where I think he goes, and it's not Minnesota. I think that would be really funny, but I'm not. But I don't think Minnesota. The only place that makes sense for him to go is Cleveland. You have you have some weapons, you have a really good running game, and you have a really good offensive line plus that awesome defense. And there's a reason that might actually work now. Did you hear the stuff about Deshaun?
I heard that he tore his something.
He tore his Achilles again, so he's done. He's done this year. However, the Browns might be able to get out of that contract because there's some TikTok videos surfacing of him dancing, not wearing his walking boot like he's supposed to. So there's language
Mm,
in the contract where if it's a team issued like boot or something like that after suffering the injury, and if they find out that you weren't following protocol there, yeah, they don't have to pay you.
that would be nice for them.
They finally found a loophole. Too bad
He
karma
had.
already caught all the way up with them, but
I don't know if it's cut all the way up with him, but
that's true.
it's up there.
Yeah.
Was that him dancing with his like girl or his fiance or?
Yep.
Oh, that's funny.
Yep. Yep. And yep. I've just I don't think in my lifetime I've seen anybody whose career trajectory was up, 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 and it just went down and
It
back.
it was all. Yeah. Well, you know what? He reminds me of the AJ Ferrari of the wrestling world. True freshman national champ at 197 pounds at a traditional powerhouse in wrestling to D2
So
sexual assault allegations.
I just thought of this. You know, Deshaun's never been the same since they blew the 24-0 lead to Kansas City. They did that in the technically it was in 2019 season. What happened in 2020, and then after that, everything just went downhill. After that,
Yeah, that's funny.
that just popped into my mind. But Patrick Mahomes broke Deshaun Watson. He has that ability on people. He's kind of good.
He he's not bad.
So you know who was bad, Cody? Um, well, let's see. About every freaking quarterback that lost this weekend.
About half the
Because
quarterbacks in the league. Yeah.
yeah. So one thing before I jump into this, you know what the theme of this weekend was? You remember the old Denny Green quote, the former Vikings Cardinals coach? They are who we thought
We
they
thought
were.
they are. Yeah.
Yep, and we let them off the hook. Well, let's see. Justin Herbert and the Chargers. They are who we thought they were. Uh, Not quite a walking disaster, but you were just
What
kind of
does
like, what are they?
what does
And then
what does Emmanuel Acho always call him? He he always, Emmanuel Acho, take him for what he is, but um
he's just a joyful person. I don't know what you're talking about.
he he always says he's the social media quarterback.
Yep.
He looks great on paper, but then comes to the big moments and he not so good.
No, he does not bring Acho joy or much people joy at that moment. Um, but yeah, he looked bad. I mean, what one of the picks was what a deflection right off of his like tight end or what, and ended up being almost a pick six. But his other picks were bad.
They
They
were
were
bad.
so
They were
bad.
very bad. For a guy that threw 3 picks all regular season
Mhm.
to throw 4 in the biggest game of the year.
Yeah, and kudos to Houston. I had no clue what to expect from them coming in the
No,
postseason, and they looked actually good.
yeah, they CJ
Bless you.
Stroud now has won a playoff game in both of his first 2 seasons in the NFL, and he's
Hmm.
looked darn good in both of those 2 playoff games for sure.
That pass rush came to play too. That was also part of the
Oh,
reason why Herbert didn't look good. And Derek
yeah,
Stingley is really good. He might be the best corner in football, along with Pat Surtain. It's one of
yeah,
those two.
yeah. I agree with that.
And now they get to play Kansas City, and they gave Kansas City a fight, or
I
like
did.
I think it was what, a week before Christmas.
The only thing I'm going to say different is Kansas City is in playoff mode now.
That's true. And they have daddy number or daddy or yeah, I'm trying to think the right way to word this. Patrick Mahomes with kid number 3. That's more what I'm going with. He has new dad. He has new dad strength again.
That's true. Yep.
He's kind of good. I don't know if you know that or not.
He doesn't suck,
No, he does not.
and he's got 3 Super Bowls right now.
Yeah. Now he's going to try to get the same amount of Super Bowls as Herbert threw picks in a game. So that should be that'll be an interesting game. I really do think so. I think that's the
Yeah,
first game on Saturday. Um, and I mean, Kansas City's offensive line has not been good. It's been bad.
yeah, and that pass rush is good, so it'll be interesting. But
Yeah,
Mahomes can also make very quick reads.
that's true. That is very when he doesn't try to play Superman ball, but
Yeah,
that is
I
true.
think that I am a stickler on this. I think that the best Mahomes is a hurt Mahomes.
Yep. Oh, I agree 100%.
Which is
So
weird to say.
so that was game 1. The Saturday night game on Amazon Prime. Baltimore's good. Derrick Henry is very good. Pittsburgh is much like the Iowa Hawkeyes. They're content on just being above 500, having 9, maybe 10 wins, and that's considered a successful season.
Yep.
Yeah, so like I said, they are who we thought they were. It's just now, what do they do? Like, not just the Tomlin aspect, but what do you do at quarterback?
You got to keep. You got to keep one of them.
Or do
I
they
would
make
keep.
her run at Rodgers?
That would make some sense.
I think it actually would. Him and Tomlin have mutual respect with one another too.
That would make a lot of sense.
My personal opinion, I would go
I
with Fields, but if I'm Fields, I say you guys
no.
bench me. I'm going
Yeah.
somewhere else.
Yeah. I think their um first option or option A is go after Rodgers and draft somebody early. Even though I don't think there's a lot to give him a year, maybe two of development under
Mm.
Aaron Rodgers, and that can help somebody. Um, Option B is take Fields or sign Fields, say bye bye Russ, and maybe take a late round quarterback to back him up and develop from there. And C is take Russ and take somebody early.
Yeah, I don't know. They're just a mess. You got George Pickens that what in the heck did he say at his post game press conference? Like if he had any hope, or if they asked him if he had any hope for I think stuff getting fixed, or something along that line, he said nah. Or if it was going to get any better, he said nah. That's exactly what you want to hear out of your number one wideout.
Yep.
And then I don't know, TJ Watt was a non-factor in the playoffs.
Dude, TJ Watt was a non-factor the last. He didn't record a single stat defensively
Yeah,
over like 190 some snaps.
yeah, that's not good. That's not what you want out
No,
of a defensive player of the year. And then when you look on the other side of the ball, I mean, you have Lamar doing his thing. You have Henry stiff arming Minka Fitzpatrick into oblivion,
yeah,
and then on his big touchdown run, he reached 20 miles an hour. Like, it felt like that whole game just felt like Baltimore was just kind of toying with Pittsburgh. It's like
yeah.
we'll let you get like a little yo-yo. We'll let you get a little closer, and then we're going to spread it back out, and a little closer again, and then spread it back out, and
It
that,
looked like a mouse or a cat caught a mouse and was just playing with it before it ate it.
yeah, I like that analogy. That was good. And also Lamar showed why he's MVP of the league. Probably, he's good at football.
Yeah,
Not to take away from the guy who he was competing with all year, because Josh Allen also good at
very
football.
good at football. That game, I thought there was gonna be some fireworks right away. Like I
I thought so
saw
too.
Denver come out, Bo Nix looking stellar for that first drive.
Mm-hmm. And then I don't think did Buffalo score right away, or did they have to punt? I think they had to punt their
Buffalo,
first drive.
no, I believe they kicked a field goal.
Oh, yep. So then you're thinking, oh, Denver scores again. Stuff gets fun. Yeah, Denver didn't score again for a while.
No,
Or did they score again the rest of the game?
I don't think they did.
Because then Buffalo kind of let them hang around, and then a 4th and 1 from the 25, and Josh throws some frozen rope to the back of the end zone for a touchdown. To, I think Ty Johnson, I think was the guy who caught it.
That's the thing. They don't have anybody on their roster, and he's doing it.
I know he's like a one-man band basically. So good for Denver. You know, rebuilding, or you're like a year or two ahead of schedule, and you made it to the wild card round. I didn't hate seeing that for Sean Payton though, because no, I don't think a lot of people like Sean Payton at all.
No.
But now Buffalo gets a date with Baltimore at home Sunday, like late afternoon, nightish, in the game
Sunday
of the weekend.
5:30 p.m.
Yeah, Baltimore's favored that game by
Interesting.
a point. Yeah, by far and away though that'll be the game of the weekend. Just especially two MVP candidates, those two quarterbacks.
Yeah, ESPN matchup predictor has it as a 49.7% matchups go to Baltimore and 50.3 go to. That's tight.
Yeah, so basically a deadlock.
Yep. But for Baltimore to be for Buffalo to be the home dogs, that's crazy.
That's also scary. You don't want to touch, or you don't want to bet against the home dogs at times.
No.
I mean, look at the Rams Vikings game. Should we dive into my game? I don't want to, but should we?
I'm fine with that. Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay, because the Packers were who we thought they were too, as in just a team that couldn't get out of its own way. It's what they were the whole year, unfortunately, especially in the big games. Especially starting off the game with a fumble that was recovered by Keyshawn Nixon. But
Love looked
bad.
he looked like the beginning of last season. Love.
Yep, yep. He
Um,
looked like, and I was reading some stuff from some Packers guys. He still looked like a guy that fully didn't trust that his knee was healthy. Like the way he wasn't stepping into throws, wasn't stepping up in the pocket. Part of that also might have been when you lose your left guard and you're down to your seventh offensive lineman. That's not good. That's not good at all. And then the starting center got hurt too, and then you're down more offensive linemen. You're having to play musical chairs in a playoff game. Also not good.
you know, the only quarterback from that draft class that's looked. There's two quarterbacks that have looked good in the playoffs. Other than that, it's been a great quarterback class for regular season and terrible for playoffs.
Well, I
Burrows
mean,
looked really good.
Love looked good against Dallas last year.
Okay.
I mean, just in all honesty, you know that they're calling our quarterback draft class the if class.
The what if or
Yeah, yeah, like the hypothetical class, like if they were in this scenario or if
yeah,
this happened.
that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
Hurts is. I mean, like Burrow's the most talented, but Hurts is looking like the best one out of the class.
yeah. Thing is, he didn't even look that good on Sunday. He
No,
really
but
didn't.
he's been the most successful.
His team has been the most successful.
He's
That's
been
what
the
I'm going
most
to go with.
successful.
His team has. Wins are not a quarterback stat, Cody. We've talked about this before.
I know, but availability, not looking bad in big
Yeah,
moments.
yeah.
Big moments is actually where he's been better.
Better. That is true. I really want to see Philly against Detroit just for the fact of the battle in the trenches, both sides. It is
Yeah.
going to be awesome. That's like Philly against San Fran, both like before Purdy got hurt 2 years ago. Like that's what I want to see.
Just an all out brawl.
Yeah,
This
that's what it would be.
Yeah, I mean, I did see this week they're talking about Dan Campbell versus Washington and like
Oh, versus Dan Quinn.
Dan
It's like
Quinn. There's Madden
no
Bowl.
punts. Yep, no punts. Always going for it. Just bros.
Yep.
Bro on bro. That makes sense. Hey,
Dogfight.
okay. Speaking of fighting, because everybody in Philadelphia seems to do it even with one another. There was something that happened in the stands, Cody, and that leads us to our pest of the week.
This week's Pest of the Week is brought to you by Decora Pest Control. Call Cass for all your pest control needs, where he offers monthly and quarterly services for residential and commercial pest control, where he treats for earwigs, cockroaches, ants, bed bugs, fleas, bees, box elder bugs, mice, and rats, and he also does wood-eating insect inspections. Call Cass at 563-419-3251 and tell them the boys at Unrelated Sports Podcast sent you.
Yeah, that's us. So, Cody, have you ever been heckled at a football game? Like, really heckled at a football game?
Actually, one time when I don't remember what grade I was in. My first game was in Minneapolis. I got a little bit
my
heckled.
gosh. Hey, I did too, when I was like 10.
Oh.
It's partly why I despise Vikings fans, because Packers lost in a game-winning field goal as time expired, and only time I ever wore my cheesehead to the game. But I was basically getting harassed by like grown adult Vikings fans leaving that game.
I'm gonna say I had like one guy that was heckling me, and the rest were all really nice. So I wasn't too upset by it, but
this is maybe 2, 3. This is like when we were walking out of the Metrodome and stuff. Yeah, did not care for those people.
Yeah, I bet not.
But that was calm or child's play in comparison to what we saw in the stands this weekend, where an Eagles fan harassed a Packers fan. Oh, go ahead.
People in Philly thought it was bad.
Yeah, that's how you know it's bad.
That's a very bad sign.
Yeah. So this gentleman, who people have identified on the internet, I'm not going to, but rumor has it he might have got fired from his job already because they
Yeah,
found him and found out where he works at and the whole nine.
and the Eagles actually sent the lady some Packers gear
And banned the fan.
Banned the fan
coming.
forever, which
Yeah.
is crazy. He got banned forever, which is right. But remember that there was one that I think it was a baseball fan we were talking about earlier this last season
Oh,
that
yeah,
got
from the
banned for
World
like
Series.
2 games. He
Yeah.
got banned for like 2 games.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a. I would never. You would think it'd be the other way around, especially.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so, long story short, this guy, and because this Eagles fan was with, I think, a brother and another buddy of his, and he was harassing this Packers fan and his wife, I believe, wife or girlfriend. I don't know the exact relation, but he said that she was dumb, ugly, and a couple other profane words that might
Said a
start
lot
with
of
like a C.
really bad words.
Yeah, and yeah, you don't do that. Like,
No,
again, there's one thing about friendly banner, and there's another thing about doing that.
Yeah, like I actually I enjoy talking to fans of other teams and talking smack to them. I think I actually usually get along with fans of other teams better than I do with some Dolphins fans. You know, like it's talking smack is just a way to get along.
Wait a minute. There's other Dolphins fans?
There's unfortunately many of us.
Oh, okay. Would never have guessed that, but okay. I just see them all dressed as seats, I guess, during the game. But thanks, Cody. Thanks. Cody just said I'm number one for those not watching. Because I am. But yeah, there's a difference between doing that, like what I just did to Cody, than what this gentleman did. Not even gentleman, what this idiot did to this Packers fan. So don't be this guy.
Yeah, never be that guy. Never try to be like a Philly fan.
No. Well, and I saw some comments. They're saying, if that guy was harassing like my wife or whatever, I would have punched him or I would have fought him. Yeah, here's the problem. Older gentleman. He had a brother and a buddy with him, so you're already playing 3 versus 1. And then also, people aren't paying attention to what's going on initially. You see somebody fighting an older gentleman of your team. What's going to happen, Cody?
Yeah, you're going to get jumped, and you're going to get thrown over the balcony.
Yep. Or you're just going to get thrown out by security instead.
Mm-hmm. It's never the guy that starts it. It's always the guy that...
It's always the second guy.
Yeah.
Matt LaFleur told that to Quay Walker a couple years ago. It's always the second guy. So, but yeah, don't be this idiot. Just never resort to horrendous names like that. It's just There's no point to it.
I don't know how people get to there. Like I've never.
I don't either. And just how you think that this is the right thing to do? I'm just gonna because why not?
Especially in the age of phones,
cell phones. I know.
You're not gonna look good.
No, and I don't care if you're 20 beers in. It's like, nah, you have no excuse. It's
nope.
So
stupid is as stupid does.
Yep. Okay, so that's all I want to talk about for that. There's nothing else to talk about from the Packers game, really, in all honesty. It was over basically as soon as Nixon fumbled the ball. However, the best game of the weekend, Sunday night, Commanders Bucks. It ends in a doink, football. A positive doink.
Crazy.
Jaden Daniels got that dog in him.
He does. He's CJ Stroud of last year. I've said before.
Yep. And crazier than it is, Baker didn't play bad. I think he only had like 3 incompletions.
Was one a pick though?
One might have been a pick, but he also had a fumble. Well, he's credited with the costly fumble of the game, which they're up. I think they're up 7. Have a chance to maybe run down some more clock and maybe just kick a field goal and end the game. But inside like their own 15, they try running a little end around or a jet sweep type deal, and the timing's not right. They fumble. Bobby Wagner recovers. Washington scores, and then next thing you know, they're kicking a field goal to win the game.
Yeah. sucks for him. I do think he is the right guy for them to have, though. That beast mode run he had was awesome. What the French toast?
Oh, here we go. Cody, can you hear me now? Oh, we have lost Cody. Ruh-roh. Well, just wait 1 second, folks, and we will be back after this commercial break. And we're back. After whatever you want to call that, commercial break, technical difficulties, whatever, we're back.
After that word from our sponsors.
Yeah. So, Cody, there's one more game left. It was Monday night's game between the Vikings and the Rams. It was supposed to be in LA, but because of the devastating wildfires, got moved to Arizona. And, well, that game, it didn't exactly go how I thought it was going to go, but don't bet against McVay and Stafford. They're kind of good.
Yeah. Stafford proves that he's just an elite quarterback still.
Yep.
When pressure's in his face, he's still throwing dimes.
Well, like his first touchdown pass, he's rolling left, directing traffic, then kind of not necessarily no look, but then he throws it to Kyron Williams back across the middle, which kind of a no to do, but you can do it when you're him. And then after that, Minnesota had no momentum and it was just gone.
They had a spot of momentum. Got called back.
Oh, yeah. Shoot, do you want to talk about that quick?
Yeah, let's go for it.
So, momentum changer. Stafford's under pressure. Does a little shovel pass to nobody. Like, literally just the littlest shovel pass I think you've ever seen. Originally on the field called a fumble.
Picked up, returned for a touchdown.
I think it was Van Ginkel, wasn't it?
Yes, I believe so. Who I love Van Ginkel.
Yeah. So, and then after review, they say it was an incomplete pass because it was his arm was coming forward on the shovel pass. You know that he wasn't throwing it to anybody at all. Like he was 2 inches off the ground.
Puka Nacua was in a 5 to 10 yard radius.
Yeah, but Puka would have had to hurt his back to catch the pass because it was so low.
Details.
Well, and I didn't know that they couldn't. Or maybe I forgot that they could do this, but the NFL can't actually, or the officials can't add grounding to a play when it hasn't been called.
I did not know that either until the announcer said that.
Yeah, because they need to change that rule because Stafford made no attempt to actually throw it to anybody.
I'm gonna say that there's gonna be some rule changes based on that game.
Just a few. But then Rams get a little break. And then I think it was still on that drive. The Vikings just about blocked a punt, which somehow they didn't block the punt. I don't know if you saw that. Like they had a clear shot at the punter.
Yeah. And then they didn't, and then
just
was that
whiffed.
Was that the one that he hit the punter?
No, didn't hit the punter at all. He had the ball and he like dove low instead of going up high to try to block the kick, and he just missed.
Okay.
But then, Minnesota got the ball back, which was bad because Sam Darnold was friends with Casper again last night. It was bad.
Yeah, he's back to the Jets version of Sam Darnold. The last 2 weeks. For sure, 2 weeks, honestly, maybe longer.
Yeah, for sure 2 weeks. Like, he's basically been like this the last month and a half, 2 months. It's just...
Maybe since they played the Lions and the Rams back to back.
Which, shout out to my buddy Brian for pointing that out. That Yeah, the Vikings' 4 losses
Oh,
on
is
the
he the
year.
Eagles fan?
Yes,
Okay.
yep. Brian pointed this out that the Vikings' 4 losses on the year are to the same two teams, and they happen in the same order. They lost to the Lions and then lost to the Rams the following week, both times.
That's insane.
But yeah, Darnold looked bad. He'd been doing this probably, like I said, the last month and a half, 2 months, where he's been holding on to the ball too long.
Yeah,
And
there's
then
some times he really held on to it, and it's like, you can't take a sack here. This is, yeah, not good football.
And then the passes that he was throwing were high, which against the Packers, the receivers were catching it. They were leaping out of midair to catch the passes like that. But
Looked like a defender on college football.
hey, yeah, it did. We know that pain all too well, Cody. All too well. So, where do the Vikings go from here? Like, what do you do?
I think they still I still sign Darnold, I think, but
Like, tag him? Or
I don't know. Tags is expensive. I don't know. 2-year deal, no
yeah,
guarantees on it, or no guarantees like as a starter, because given an actual competition between him and JJ McCarthy, maybe um, let and not like okay, and then keep him on a short leash, maybe. When he starts seeing ghosts, maybe throw somebody in, or see how the season's going, I guess.
yeah. I disagree with you on that. I think you have to either fully commit to Darnold's going to play the whole year, or whoever the new Vikings quarterback is, or you have to give McCarthy the team. Because if not, Darnold plays 3 bad games, and it's going to be, or like 2 good games and a bad game. It's going to be like you have to get him out. Like, you have a very impatient fan base. So
I mean, I think that's just fan bases in the NFL in general anymore, but
that is true.
Twitter, we all have a
Um,
voice on it.
hey, I do want to say one thing though. So you and I disagreed that when I asked you this, I don't know if I asked you this on the podcast last week or if I actually just asked you this at like work, but about if the NFL should reseed come playoff time, like who gets a host game, like between who gets to host the games between the division winners and stuff.
I, we disagreed initially, and then the more I thought about it, we ended up on the same side of that.
Okay. Well, and if anything, last night showed that they were on a neutral field and the Vikings got waxed.
Yeah,
Like my thoughts stay the same. If you were the better team, you should be able to win on the road or at a
yeah,
neutral site for this matter.
and if you want that, your first goal should always be win your division.
Mm-hmm. Which the Vikings had a chance to. They
Yeah,
had a golden opportunity week 18, and they also got waxed by Detroit. So Cancun on 3 because we're all in Cancun.
yeah,
I
sad.
know. I know. I'm sad too. The bad part for the Vikes, though, they have only 3 draft picks plus any
Yeah,
compensatory picks that they're supposed to have. That's not good. That's bad
one
for a
and
team,
2 5s.
and especially for a team that they have to replace a lot of snaps. Like
Yeah,
six, I think I saw that 6 of their 7 defensive backs are
yeah.
free agents.
I think they said that on the broadcast.
That's not good.
That's a
That's not
lot.
good at all. And I think the Vikings need to find themselves a true running back too, like a true number one workhorse running back. Because like I think if they would have stayed more committed to the ground game, they would have had a chance. But they couldn't run the ball.
Well, they could probably get one in the second or third round.
Who's that?
I don't know.
Oh,
Scattered.
okay.
They don't have a second or third or
Oh
fourth
yeah,
round pick
duh.
at that.
Sorry, yeah. As soon as you said that, I'm thinking, what the heck are you talking about? But ooh, Scatterboo in Minnesota would be interesting. But yeah, you're right. They have, unless they want to spend a first round pick on Genty or Scatterboo. Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. Or Caleb
No.
Johnson. Which first round running backs normally don't end well, more times than not.
Who was
But
the last first round running back? Would have been
Oh, Bijan.
Najee Harris.
Bijan.
Oh, Bijan. Yep.
Yeah. Which, when used right, works out good. Or was Jameer Gibbs a first round pick too? Like I think the Lions had two. Like I think they took him and Brian Branch. I want to say maybe not. Maybe they got Gibbs in the second round. I can't remember.
I felt like it was second, but that's just a more of a guess than it is anything. I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
More of a gut feeling that it was a second round pick, but whatever.
Okay. Yeah. But it's neither here nor there. So should we move in? Do you want? Should we make some picks for
Yeah, let's
the
go for.
division one? Okay. So considering I messed up on this last time, just a reminder to everybody out there that our pick segment, which I still have yet to be Cody in, is brought to you by the wonderful guys at Zip and Zoobs Detailing, who offer a cleaning service for your vehicle, whether you need your egg equipment or, I don't know, how about your truck or car before it really, or even after it gets all sandy and dusty and salty, whatever in the heck they put down. So, if you would like to make an appointment, call the guys at 563-380-9772 and book your appointment today.
Good job.
Okay. Thank you, Cody. I try. So I'm curious how much disagreement we're gonna or variance we're gonna have in these picks. I really don't think we're gonna have a lot, if any.
I maybe one.
Okay. Saturday's
Do you
playoff
see
or
the
division. Oh,
do
go
you
ahead.
see what the picks are on the Washington Detroit game?
Yeah, zeros. Nobody's
Yeah.
made a pick on that game. I don't believe that at all.
Or
Same thing with the
actually
Buffalo.
Buffalo Baltimore.
Yeah. So there's just must
Interesting.
be a glitch. Okay, so leading off, Houston at Kansas City.
I'm going home team, Kansas
That's a
City.
bold. That's a bold strategy, Cotton.
Well, I'm picking them
But
for.
they have Mahomes, right? That's the team that has Mahomes.
I believe so. Yes.
Okay, good. I'm gonna pick them too.
His wife just gave birth to baby number 3 this last weekend.
That's also true. Dad power. You know that firsthand. Dad power.
Yes, sir. Okay, so game 2, Washington Saturday night, 7 p.m. Washington at Detroit.
I really want to pick Washington, but I can't. I the Cinderella story. The clock strikes midnight.
Yeah, I like Jaden Daniels, but I like the ankle biting Dan Campbell's.
Knee biting, actually, not
Oh,
ankles.
I'm sorry. He did something to the ankles, wasn't it?
I don't know if they're putting a
Gosh.
bounty on ankles now, or what are they doing?
Maybe.
Okay. So Sunday at 2 o'clock on NBC, the Rams at the Eagles.
I am gonna make your friend Brian happy and go with the Eagles.
I am also picking the Eagles. The only thing I will say about the Rams, we see this many times, Cody. You know, a team, or
Yeah.
the city where the team's playing in they end up having it has like this galvanizing moment where something bad happens and they just play out of their minds for the city and everything. The Rams could
New
do that. They
Orleans.
very easily could. Yep, New Orleans firsthand. Easily could do it. I don't think they do though. Philly just that offensive and defensive line is nasty. They're just full of nasty people.
Yes, they are. Now, the game that I don't know. This is the only one that I'm not sure if we're going to be. I was questioning whether we're going to be in agreement on or not. Baltimore at Buffalo.
There's one team that I think can beat Kansas City in the AFC. It's the Baltimore Ravens.
We are not going to have any you're not going to beat me any going into this week. At the end of this week, you will not be ahead of me on picks.
We're picking the same.
We're picking the same.
Just out of curiosity,
It's
what's
not
your
good.
reasoning? What's your reasoning for Baltimore?
I trust I don't know why. I trust the Ravens team as a whole more than Josh Allen as a single person carrying a franchise. And there's this guy
Also,
that runs for the Ravens. That like they have a really good quarterback, and then they have this running back that I don't know if you've ever heard of him. Uh,
Justice Hill.
King Henry. Have you?
Oh, it's not Justice Hill, so no. I mean, what has Henry
He's
ever done?
pretty
Did he win a
good.
Heisman one year or something like that? I don't know.
Have you ever looked up his? I know we've talked about this before. Have you looked up his high school stats? It
Yeah,
was
they're nuts.
unbelievable.
It's like the scene in Benchwarmers, where the guy hands or was it Tim Hammond, or I can't remember what the actor's name is, but where he hands the piece of paper to the guy and says, "I am 12."
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, or Tim Meadows. That's what the guy's name is. The
That's who
yeah,
he handed it to. Yeah. He's
yeah,
got
yep,
he's got papers. He's legit.
yep.
He's got his
Yeah, and then
wife
just
and
says,
kids
"I
in
am
there.
12." Yeah, that's good. But yeah, they're he's kind of good.
Yeah.
Also, if this comes down to special teams, there's one guy that has historically performed very well in the postseason, and Justin Tucker. Another guy in Tyler Bass that might or might not have pushed a field goal wide right last year against
Those are
Kansas
some of the
City.
most famous words
In
in Buffalo.
Buffalo, yeah,
Wide right.
again, as Jim Nantz said. So, so on one end we get an AFC Championship game rematch, just in a different place, and then the other matchup we get just an all out slugfest,
Yes.
just based on our predictions. Okay, should be a very fun weekend of football. They always say the divisional weekend is the best weekend of football,
I mean, just
just
look at
because.
it. It's heavyweights, and
Oh, I know.
well, I'd say it's six heavyweights and two like
Not quite
little
Cinderellas,
engines that
but
could.
yeah, between Washington and Houston. Is that what you mean?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, that's fair. I like that.
great stories.
Yeah,
The other
actually,
ones are power. The Rams are kind of
so okay, give me five heavyweights, one or even two,
welterweight.
kind of, yeah, welterweights, and then the Commanders are the little engine that could. That's I like that better. That's good.
Hmm.
So, Cody, we've
Great
broken down the
stories.
games. We made our predictions. Should we get into our top five?
Let's do it.
Okay. So, I mean, we love playoffs here, right?
We do playoffs. Even though I haven't seen. Well, okay. So today I saw a meme of the last time the Dolphins won a playoff game.
What was it?
Let's see. Well, the last time the Dolphins won a playoff game, Jaden Daniels was 12 days old.
That makes me feel very young, by the way. That's great.
Um, the Twin Towers were still
Oh,
standing. Bill Clinton was in the White House.
okay.
Um, yeah, there was one more thing. I don't remember what the other one was, but it's been 25 years since the Dolphins last won a playoff game.
It's been
I
12
don't
months since the Packers last won one.
I
So,
don't really remember it well. I remember the last playoff game. I really remember the Dolphins. I Well, they lost that one. I remember their loss to the Jaguars with as Dan Marino's last game,
what year was that?
99.
Okay. Like
And they
98 season or 99 season?
99 season.
Okay, so that's the year that the
So
Jags
that
were the number one seed and they lost to Tennessee in the AFC title game.
couldn't have been. Maybe it was 98 season going into
Okay.
99.
Okay.
Yeah. It was Marino's last season.
Okay, I got you.
Um 64-7 loss for the Dolphins. Maybe
Ouch.
63. Yeah.
Ouch. That's okay. That's a little bit worse than what I had experienced over the weekend. So yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
But You have to have good moments, right? That you've seen, right?
I have seen some. Not with the Dolphins.
Okay, but
Most
just
of
with other
them,
teams.
yeah. Like I had probably my fifth favorite moment I saw.
Okay, hey,
I
hold
wait,
on
yep,
before we get
yep.
into this. We
You
have to
got
give a
stuff
shout
to
out to
do.
our sponsor. I'm making sure we don't forget this time. We messed up
Perfect.
once, and now we don't forget. So just a reminder to everybody out there that our weekly top five is brought to you by the boys at Lick Takes Lawn Care and Snow Removal. Any snow removal questions you may have at this time of the year, give the guys a call at 563-203-4238 and tell them that the boys at the Unrelated Sports Podcast, that's us, sent you
That's
there.
me and you.
Okay, Cody, now begin.
Well, I'd say the fifth favorite moment I saw. I don't know if you know this. Um, I'm not a big fan of the Pittsburgh Steelers,
I actually
and
did not know that. I'm going to be dead
not a
honest. I
fan.
really did. I did not know that.
It mostly comes down to there was a game where Big Ben fumbled and it didn't get called, and it cost the Dolphins the game.
Oh, that's
Um,
always good.
but anyway, I wasn't really a big Tim Tebow fan, but I was a Demarius Thomas fan, and there was a
R.I.P.
playoff 2008, I believe.
No,
No,
further. 2012
oh,
playoffs.
2012. Okay.
Right? Was it 2012? Actually, no. Or was it 2011? I'm trying to remember if that was the year the Packers got beat by the Giants or the Niners.
But Tim Tebow had a 80-yard touchdown pass to Demarius Thomas in overtime to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers as a member of the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, that was nuts. Okay, so it was a 2011 season. It happened in 2012.
2012. Okay.
So yeah, Packers got beat by the Giants the next week. So I do remember that. Yeah. So oh my gosh, that is such an iconic moment though. First play of overtime too, I believe.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, Tebow's like best game as a pro, and that's what Tebow Mania was at its all-time high.
Yes, it was.
Which one thing, shout out to Tim Tebow and his wife. They're going to have a baby.
Oh, is this their first?
I think so, actually.
Well,
So, good for Timmy.
good for him.
Okay, number 5 on my list. I can't believe I'm going to do this. I'm going to give the Vikings some love. I really hate doing this. 2017? Vikings are playing the Saints. Case Keenum's in a quarterback. Sean Payton's doing the skull chant, and we're driving home because we were racing go-karts that day. And next thing you know, here's Paul Allen say, and he got loose. And Stephon Diggs is running down the right sideline for a game-winning walk-off touchdown for the Minneapolis Miracle.
That's on my list.
Oh, I'm sorry to take it from your list.
It's all right.
But yeah, just getting to listen to Paul Allen, who can be he can be excited just a little bit.
Yeah, he's fun to listen to.
Yeah, but just listen to him go nuts, and it like, yeah, that was an insane moment.
That was cool. My number 4 was a moment that made a guy's career. And I'm talking beast mode.
Ooh,
The Seahawks. Was it against the Saints?
yep, 2010 playoffs. The 7-9 Seahawks.
The 7-9 Seahawks. Marshawn Lynch goes on one of the most unbelievable, just one run. He stiff-armed, I think, 48 people.
Mm-hmm. Including Darren Sharper, the hardest hitting safety in the league.
Put him on his keister.
Yeah, he did.
For a touchdown in a Seahawks win over... Was that the defending Super Bowl champion?
Yes, sir.
New Orleans Saints. I mean, that was for a 7-9 team that snuck into the playoffs as a
And I
division
mean,
champ.
that one run, like it's Marshawn's highlight forever. Like
Yeah.
no matter that he had a good career, not a great
Yes.
career, but people see that run and think that dude was awesome.
Yeah. They think of him as like the best running back in the league for a long time, and he was a good running back for the league, but he was never a top one.
Okay, so my number 4, I'm
That's
gonna go.
gonna that's
Oh,
gonna
sorry.
piss off my brother-in-law too. He hates my takes, especially if they're against the Seahawks. But
That's right there.
yeah,
Wait, the Seahawks have fans too? I thought they were all bandwagon fans.
I know two of them.
I know 2 of them as well. They're 2 different ones, but I know two as well. So my number 4, I'm gonna go a little homerism here. 2016 playoffs. No, yeah, 2016 playoffs. Packers playing the Cowboys. It's like Dak and Zeke's rookie year, and Aaron Rodgers rolls left and connects with Jared Cook somehow along the left sideline, where I still don't know how Cook got his feet in, to put the Packers in Mason Crosby field goal range, and then Crosby drills a field goal just inside the left upright to send the Packers to the NFC title game. Like, that moment was, I still can't believe that happened. That, like, when you see Aaron Rodgers highlights, aside from all the other Hail Marys, that's the one. That's
Yeah.
the moment you see.
Hail Marys are one thing, but like because there's some luck involved in those, but like when
Yeah.
play was 100% two very talented people.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. Well, my number 3, we just mentioned it. Andy just mentioned it a little bit ago. It was the Minneapolis Miracle. Um, it was cool to witness as a fan of NFL football. I mean, I'm not a fan of either team. And then Stephon Diggs that went on to be a player I hated for a long time, but
Mm-hmm.
Case Keenum was a guy I always liked, so made it kind of a little bit more enjoyable.
Okay, so my number 3, it's actually a couple different moments all tied up in one. They just call it 13 seconds.
That's my number 2.
Bill, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, Cody. I'm sorry that I'm stealing.
You should have
yours.
known that was going to be a top 2 of mine.
Actually, I didn't think it was. I thought you were just going to choose singular moments. I thought I was going to be able to sneak this one on by you.
I mean, yeah. Well, we'll just do this as Andy's 3 and my 2.
Yeah. So, I guess we can both share this. 13 seconds. Bills throw Bills score or throw a touchdown to Gabe Davis, go up 3, and they're thinking they're going to the AFC Championship game. What happened, Cody?
Well, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of him. His name is Tyreek Cheetah Hill.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah, he did some weaving and said peace to the Bill season.
No, he didn't take that to the house.
Didn't he?
No.
Oh, he got it.
Well, maybe right before that he did. Yeah, okay, yep. Okay, so, yeah, he did that right beforehand, I'm pretty sure.
Yep, you're right. And then the game Davis, and then...
Yep. And then I think Mahomes found Kelsey twice, just right in the middle of the field because the Bills played awful defense. And then Butker drilled like a 57-yarder. All in a span of 13 seconds.
It was insane football.
Yeah, that's still one of the craziest endings to a playoff game, and it's one of those where you knew whoever got the ball in overtime was going to win.
Yeah,
because that was even before or the whole. You didn't even need I think you needed a touchdown to win still, but it was one of those. Both defenses weren't going to stop the other one.
No, they were both Big 12 defenses at the time.
Yeah, so you knew it was.
Or I don't know if it was Big 12 defenses. They were both Ohio State offenses at the time.
Yep. That's the best way to look about it. Okay, my number 2. I hope I'm not stealing your number 1, Cody. I really hope I'm not stealing your number 1. It's actually one of my first football memories, like non-Packers football memories, We're going to 99 to Nashville, Tennessee. Wild card game between the Bills. Did I steal it? I did. Oh my
That's all
gosh.
right. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was it a forward pass?
Eh.
Okay. It's because it happened to Buffalo.
Yeah. Buck
Okay.
Buffalo.
What happened, Cody? I'll let you ride.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
No, I stole your
This-
last two.
That's
I
fine.
want to let you go.
No,
Go
no.
ahead. Just go ahead. Okay.
Andy, I'm not as good at explaining sports moments. Go ahead.
Okay. Basically, time's winding down. Buffalo's up by like 2, I think, 1 or 2, and they do a little squib kick to Frank Wycheck of the Tennessee Titans. Wycheck might or might not have thrown a forward pass to Kevin Dyson. They had the wall set up, and Dyson took it all the way for a touchdown, giving giving the Titans an improbable lead with like 3 seconds left, and ultimately won them the game. They won their next 2 to go to the Super Bowl against the Rams.
Which, that Super Bowl was like one of the first Super Bowls I remember really enjoying.
Same here. And it ended 1 yard short.
1 yard short. Old
Yep.
Steve McNair.
But
R.I.P.
yeah, R.I.P. But yeah, I remember watching that play and it's like, oh my gosh, when that just happened. Like,
Right?
I was like 5 at the time, so I'm still just really trying, or 5 or 6, so I'm still trying to process it all, and it's like, oh my word.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's still the craziest ending to any playoff game. Like, even Super Bowl wise, it's still the craziest ending, I would say.
For sure. I mean,
Like, or let me phrase this: just strictly one play wise. Like, you can say the 28-3 Super Bowl.
as a
you can say
whole,
the
that was a crazy game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you can say this 13 seconds and everything there, but yeah, this was just one
single
play.
play. That was insane.
Yeah. So, my number 1, I'm actually gonna go back to homerism because this is, that I hated the guy. This is probably my favorite playoff moment. Packers, Seahawks, and was it 03, 04? They're going to overtime. Matt Hasselbeck calls I think he called heads. They win the toss, and he most famously says, "We want the ball, and we're going to score." They did score, just Hasselbeck threw a touchdown to the wrong team. Because at midfield, he throws a little, I don't know if he's throwing a little curl route or a little out route. He was late. Al Harris jumped the route. Pick 6. Green Bay goes on to Philly, and I think 4th and 26 was the next week. I don't want to remember that game at all. But regardless, we won. I hated Al Harris, but I love that moment so much.
I'm sure. How many can you think of, like? So I can think of a lot of Dolphins players that the Dolphins had that I hated, but none that were like big or really good for us. Like, it was always people that fell short of expectations and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
that'd be a good top 5.
Oh, I mean, you know who my number 1 is on that list. I've mentioned this
Pat
before.
McAfee show.
He might. He's. I think he's mute though. I don't think he really talks a lot.
It's all right.
Yeah, I hated AJ Hawk so much. But yeah, Al Harris is probably number 2 on that list. Especially after getting shunned from an autograph, I didn't.
Oh yeah,
didn't like that. But yeah, pick 6 though. Pick cap off a playoff game. That's pretty awesome.
Walk off pick 6 is pretty sweet.
Yeah. So yeah, that's mine and half of Cody's top 5.
It's all right.
Like I said, I was even looking through the list and like, oh my gosh, I don't want to steal any of your stuff at all.
The Music City Miracle was just partially like, that's, I'm not gonna say early of my football fandom, but it's early on when I understood football a little bit better.
Yeah. Now, if I really wanted to be really mean, I could have had the Blair Walsh miss. I could have had the double doink from the Bears. What else did I have on there? I did have Beastquake on my list. I was going to put that on there, but then as soon as you said it, it's like, okay, nope, we're taking that down the pecking order.
Yeah, beast mode was so cool.
Another just an underrated moment was the Mile High Miracle, the Jacoby Jones catch. I was thinking about
Um,
putting that on there
I
too.
I like that. I was just too big of a Peyton Manning fan
Yeah,
to
that's
put
fair.
that on it. Like,
I
yeah,
mean, in all honesty too, if not for that moment, the legend of Justin Tucker's never born, or we never know to how the story plays out because he makes the field goal in double overtime, and
that's true.
so
You
yeah,
could
just
you
again,
could you could quote some Herb Brooks in here. Great
what quote?
moments
Oh yeah,
from great opportunity.
yeah, he's again Justin Tucker, kind of good at football, just a little bit. Also very good at opera. Just if anybody didn't know that,
I think you've
I
mentioned
should
about
have.
8 times now.
I know. I like. What's my other fun fact? Oh, do you know that Ryan Fitzpatrick went to Harvard?
Uh-oh.
Oh, are we losing Cody again? Oh. Oh boy. Well, before Cody signs off, because I think we're losing him again, just want to say thank you everybody for listening. Just make sure you like, subscribe, rate, review, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell whoever. And just remember that fullbacks are people too. And hopefully we'll have technical difficulties resolved for next week. So thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next week.
Hello, Andy. Awesome.